Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another RD agility rooftop video. I'm just kidding. Anyways, in this video I'm going to be bringing a very sad story of how the time I pretty much lost my entire bank. I was actually hacked for my entire bank. It's a long story though. Ever since I was a very young kid, I was very interested in rare items. As you can see from my last video, I really like the rare holiday event items, and I worked my ass off as a young kid training, doing all these things like chopping magic trees or whatever it might be, just doing the very slow methods, like catching sharks, magic trees like I was talking about, doing a ton of thieving back in the day. Frost Dragon's another huge money maker that I did back in the day, and I ended up buying myself a Santa hat for around 250 million GP, which was probably over half of my bank, definitely over half my bank back in the day. I went ahead and bought myself a Santa hat for 250 million GP, and then I got very close to maxing, like 90 plus all. And freaking Runescape 3 has this thing called Double Experience Weekend, and I was like, do I want this red hat or do I want a max cape? So I ended up selling the Santa hat and of course buying myself all of the herblore supplies I needed for herblore, whatever I might needed, construction. I think I needed a bunch of stuff for that, prayer, I needed a bunch of stuff. Just ended up using it all on supplies. I did have a lot of money left over though, obviously, and I went and bought gear with it, thinking, after the double XP weekend, I could, rebuild and get my money kind of back in a way. And that was a massive mistake, because ever since I feel like I sold that party hat, the party hat just kept going up and going up and going up and going up until the point where, it was just unreal. It was just unrealistic to get it at this point anymore. So I wanted to get a 200 mil now that I was maxed, at least a 120 cape, and I thought I could go ahead and get myself to 200 million experience in thieving. And thieving on RuneScape 3 is a joke. If you guys don't know, you just click one guard, you AFK for 5 minutes, you click one more guard, you AFK for 5 minutes, and you make a ton of GP, like liquid GP. You make a bunch of like super sets that are stacked in your inventory. You just make bank, like 2 million GP per hour, and you just click once every few minutes. Very stupid, and it was literally like 500k thieving experience an hour too. So 200 million took me about 3-4 months, and I had so much money from the 200 million thieving that I went ahead and bought myself my Santa hat back, and I think it was like a 400 or 500 million GP at this point. And I was like, that's it, I'm gonna keep this Santa hat forever. And on RuneScape 3, they had these things called keepsake keys, and pretty much what I went ahead and did is use a keepsake key on it. What those things did is, like, you would use them on an item, and then they would kind of like delete the item in a way, but you could use it as a cosmetic override. Now, you could go ahead and get the item back, but you'd have to, you wouldn't be able to get your keepsake key back. So I went ahead and keepsaked it, and I wore it everywhere. Now, the cool thing about keepsaking an item is you could wear it anywhere. Like, I could wear it in dangerous situations, and if I died, I wasn't actually wearing the Santa hat. I might be wearing my Slayer helmet, but it would look like I was wearing the Santa hat. That was one cool thing that I did kind of like about RuneScape 3. It would not fit into old school, obviously, but I did kind of like that, and I would just wear my Santa hat all day, every day, and I was so proud of it. I eventually got really bored of the game, and I made a quitting video on why I wanted to quit RuneScape 3, and even in that quitting video, I said I will never sell my Santa hat. It was something that I wanted to keep forever, and I really wish I did now, because I just checked the prices of Santa hats, and on RuneScape 3, they're about 3 to 3.5 billion when it hits Christmas and stuff like that. If I go to the long-term history Christmas, they were at 9 billion GP. I could have had 9 billion GP. But anyways, you live and you learn. So what I ended up actually going ahead and doing is selling the Santa hat and converting that GP into old school RuneScape GP. And what I ended up doing is putting it on a brand new account, and I ended up making a 1 defense pure, because I always wanted to go ahead and make myself a 1 defense pure. But the thing I really found annoying about 1 defense pures is they were really hard to make money on, because you need high combat stats to make a ton of money unless you have like 99 rune crafting, and I wasn't down to go ahead and do that either with 1 defense. So I ended up selling it all, moving all this money over to a pure. Now, 500 or 600 million GP back then, converted to old school, was literally like 150 mil old school. I can't believe I did that. I literally sold a Santa hat, which at one point was 9 billion, for 150 million old school RuneScape GP. Now, did I have fun on the pier? Yes, I did. I got myself like a ton of kills. I've never been a PKer on this game at all, and I ended up getting myself a ton of kills actually. Like, I remember I had the account like very cool. I did a lot of the whatever you call that, strength training at barbarian fishing. I think I had like 90 fishing on the account, and it was a very low HP kind of build, and I would just be able to smack people down with the obby maul. And I kind of learned a little bit about PKing. I wasn't good. I was probably a 1-to-1 KD, but I'm usually, you know, 10 deaths, 1 kill. I'm not good, but on that account I felt like I was pretty good. And I remember taking it to my friend's house actually, and we all loved PKing back in the day. We weren't good at it, but we liked it. And I was like, can I log on and show you my peer? And I logged into the account at his house, and literally one hit someone, and he was just like, oh. It was just like the coolest thing ever. And anyways, I had fun with that account for 6 months, 7 months. I ended up buying dragon claws on that account, you know, and using them in the wild and stuff like that. And yeah, then I ended up not playing that account for a little while. I think I logged out of the account when I had like 98 strength, so I was just about to get that nice beautiful strength cape untrimmed on the account, so I was pretty hyped about that. And I ended up, you know, logging into the account, and I noticed I was in Lumbridge, didn't have anything on me. I went to check the bank. I was obviously free to play, and I had a ton of cash, like a good solid 100 million GP in cash. It was all gone. All the food was gone. Every single item that I ever had on that account was gone. And part of me was like, no, I didn't trade the Santa hat. So I logged back into my RuneScape 3 account. Of course, the Santa hat's gone, and I was just like, I just got scammed a Santa hat. To this day, I still don't know exactly who took the money. Now, it was my own fault in a way. I didn't have a freaking bank pin on that account. I have no idea what happened, like, at all. That account on RuneScape 3 was pretty much maxed as well. So, like, I played that account for years, and, like, I had that account for years. And then all of a sudden, you just log in one day, and, you know, it's all gone. And I just pretty much logged out. I was like, I'm done with PKing. I've thought about making a peer again, just because PKing is a lot of fun, and it would be really cool content and cool to go ahead and learn, especially when they've been doing a good job disabling a lot of the like bot scripts that PK for people. I think it's going to make it more of a fair playing ground and stuff like that. And it is a lot of fun, does take a lot of skill. And it's one of those things, like when you do get a kill PKing in RuneScape, it doesn't feel like you get a kill in Call of Duty. You know what I mean? You actually feel like, oh my God. Moral of the story, and what I've kind of learned from it, is if you really like an item on RuneScape, make sure you actually just keep it. You know, the price could go down. So say one day I buy a twisted bow on my tutorial island, a twisted bow series, I'm never gonna sell it. It could go down to 100 million GP. I won't sell it. It's one of those things now that, like, once you get an item complete, you can always make more money, you know, but that item could go sky high and it could never be obtainable again. And I really wish, even though I don't play RuneScape 3, I really wish I had that Santa hat, just to say I have an item from 2002. I have an in-game item that is pretty much the same age as I am. Well, you know, I'm 22, that item's 20 years old, but it was just such a cool thing, and it's kind of sad that I lost the Santa hat, but I'm kind of over it now. It was a few years ago, but it just, every now and then I get a little triggered about it. And also, this is a really good thing to make sure you have a good account security so nothing like this ever happens to you. I still don't know who it was that logged into that account, and yeah, it's a sad scenario, but yeah, that's pretty much how I lost, I guess, 9 billion GP. I'm even more mad now. I thought it was just about max cash. You know, it was about 4 max cash piles, and, you know, Christmas is coming up, so the party hat's probably going to skyrocket more, but is what it is. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video today. If you want to head and watch the whole video, comment 9 bill down in the comments below. Thank you guys, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya later.